Am I doing everything wrong right now? It is dietetic internship season. I am here to try my best to provide some type of comfort to anyone that is experiencing the dietetic internship process, or if you just want to know more about what the hell my story is. My coffee right here, my little Santa Claus coffee. So I basically decided that after I wanted to be a CSI detective and a chemist and a lawyer, I was like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing thinking that you watch 5 episodes of How to Get Away with Murder and now you're gonna be a lawyer? I need to figure out my life, and I need to figure it out right now. It was the end of sophomore year. I'm so passionate about health. I'm so passionate about nutrition, but the fear of like having already changed my major 3 times, I was like, shit girl, you can't change your major again. Nutrition and dietetics, this is my last major change, mom and dad. So they were like, okay, we support this. Everyone around me wanted me to go pursue this career. Everyone thought that this was right up my alley. I was so about like health, and I had just like become vegan that year, like sophomore year. My parents were like, word, you can do it, we fully support you, but you can't do study abroad. So I said, all right, fine, don't need study abroad. I have years of my life to travel, and at the end of the day, like, why would I want to not do that to go abroad and then regret my career for the rest of my life? I started as a nutrition and dietetics major, and also restarted getting involved in my theater company at my school again. Perfect time to get re-involved with theater. My favorite show, my dream role, Addams Family, Wednesday Addams. It was literally my dream, like, part dream show. So I said, screw it, I'm going back. I'm doing theater and I'm starting this new major. Life is good. Fresh and burned that year. Love theater. It is one of my passions. I have 2 passions, if you know me, for theater, which is something I've literally done my entire life since I literally came out of the womb. I was tap dancing and singing Sutton Foster. Very much sacrificing school for theater, because if you guys know, if anyone does college theater, it is a freaking job. It is not just like a, oh, ha ha ha, like, doing theater, going to rehearsal like 1 hour a day. No, theater is hard. 20 to 30 hours of rehearsal a week. When you're not at rehearsal, you're home practicing what you learned at rehearsal. So junior year was basically a year that showed me, girl, you can't do it all. This was probably the first time in my life that I realized that I really have to make decisions in regards to what is important for my future. I had to let go temporarily of one of my passions, which was theater. Obviously, I did it in the fall, I did it in the spring, I loved it, and I was so involved in it, and leaving it because I knew that I needed to pursue this dietetic internship, and I needed to get my grades up and do a lot of change in order for that to happen, was very effing hard. I can remember the day. I was so upset because we were doing Mamma Mia. You guys know Mamma Mia's a freaking bop. Called my friend and I was like, dude, I can't do the show. Like, I can't do it. I was hysterical crying. I don't want to look back and regret any of my decisions if I find out that I don't get into this internship. Because if you guys know, you basically are told by every professor that this internship is the only thing that matters from when you join the major. That's all they talk about. Dietetic internship, get in, get in, get in. That is all you hear for like every day until you graduate. You know, I made that huge sacrifice my senior year, and with that came a lot more sacrifices. I had no nutrition experience, no experience at all, anything dietetic related, because I spent all my time doing theater my junior year. Got 2 freaking jobs. I got 1 job and 1 volunteer experience that basically took up the same amount of time as a job did. Started that my summer going into my senior year, and I had gotten a student manager position at my dining hall, which was very big for like having food service experience going into a dietetic internship because not a lot of people have food service management experience. Also, doing sports nutrition. Both the new things I was dealing with starting in the summer. And then sports nutrition, I met Austin. And obviously along with that, now having these two basically new jobs, I was starting my first relationship ever, something that I've never experienced before. And I had to start balancing that while also taking 42 credits in 1 year, and I was a TA. So this is all like boom, 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 craziness. I had to sacrifice a lot. Falling outs with a lot of people around me, a lot of lifestyles that I was living before the senior year, and basically had to completely change all of my priorities within a very short period of time. Everything about what I was doing this entire year was about me getting into an internship. There were points, because of how selective and how hard it is to get into this internship, I said to myself, dude, screw it. You don't want to do the internship now. You want to go to grad school first, and then you want to do the internship. Doubting yourself that you are not going to be able to get into this. Everyone around you is telling you that you have a 50% chance of getting in. It's so hard to get in. Okay, like, you know what the easiest option will be? Like, I'll apply to my school's dietetic internship because they had a pre-select option for us. That's basically what I thought would be the best thing for me to do, and was my comfort zone being at University of Delaware at that time. I had just started getting involved in CrossFit there, starting to date Austin, who was also doing his dietetic internship at the University of Delaware. So obviously amazing school. I was like, oh my god, it's so hard to get into this school, but I will pre-select apply there, and I'm not even going to think about maybe applying to other internships. Clearly, I did not get into that internship. That was a very sad day for me when I found that out, because I was only set on one idea and I was set on the easiest path to get in. Thank God for Austin, because honestly, like, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have a lot easier just let my doubt take the best of me. It was just about not feeling like smart enough or good enough to be able to get in when I'm seeing how smart and how much experience everyone around me has. It is so hard to not compare yourself to everyone around you, but I knew I had to persevere. I knew I had to keep sticking with this because it was such a passion of mine, and I don't want to just give up because it's easier to. I started looking at other internships. I said, you know what, like, I'm not going to do the grad school thing first. Like, I'm going to try again, and if it doesn't work out, at least I could say I did every single thing that I could to try to get here in the amount of time that I allotted myself. I looked at internships. I stumbled upon one particular internship that I was obsessed with. I loved everything about it. The internship I'm in now, fell in love with it. I was like, this is my number one. This is where I want to go. So I started applying to there and like 8 other internships. But this was my top one, and I really wanted it so bad. Handed everything in. Started having a meltdown a little bit before I handed everything in about, am I making the right decisions about my career path? So I'm starting to worry, like, I don't want to worry about giving up theater because now I'm like fully pursuing dietetics. My entire personal statement is about how theater led me to this passion and how both of these passions are such an important part in my life. So I'm freaking out. You know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, holy shit, like, am I doing everything wrong right now? Should I be going into theater? Like, what am I doing? That was like around January. I hand everything in. I say, okay, you know what? If I don't get in, I don't get in, but at least I did everything I could for everything wise to try. Please don't be so closed-minded with yourself. Be kinder to yourself and realize, like, no, I am capable. I'm capable of getting into this internship. The numbers make you feel like it is impossible. The numbers make you feel like, holy shit, like, what am I doing? Like, why do I think I'm gonna be one of the freaking 12 people to get into this internship? I doubted so many parts of that time. So then, fast forward, I get an email from Sage, which is the one school that emails me and asks me for an interview. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is literally the one school that I cared about emailing me. This is the one school I wanted an interview in. I'm gonna nail this interview. I love interviewing. I love talking about my experiences and all that jazz. Go into the interview, the most important thing to her is grit. And I'm literally, like, one of the things I said right before that in the interview was, I have sacrificed so much short-term things in my life this year for the long term of achieving my goals. And I said that like right before she said that, which I didn't even know like truly what the word grit meant. I looked it up after the interview, and it was literally that. And I said to myself, holy shit, like this fits, like this is perfect, like I'm getting in, like I'm literally freaking out. I'm like calling my mom and dad. I'm like, guys, like so I'm like set on Sage. I'm like, there's no shot that I didn't get in my gut. Like in my gut, I knew after that interview that I was getting into this program. And I don't know why. I can't even explain the feelings that I felt in that moment, but I was like, holy crap, like this has been such a long, hard road, and I think it's finally gonna pay off. Day comes. Match day is here, all right? And I am praying to God Almighty that I am going to get matched. I refreshed my page that day after praying to the Lord Almighty all day, and I got no match. It was the weirdest feeling in the entire world. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. But I was weirdly calm. If you ask anybody that I was talking to that night, I was so calm. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, everything happens for a reason. Like, maybe something good is gonna come out of this. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I still think I got in. Like, in my head, I'm like, I still think I got in. Like, I know I sound like I'm in denial. I know I sound a little crazy. But my gut feeling is telling me that I still have a chance. I'm going to email this director because I love this program so much. Can we meet so that you can discuss like why I didn't get in and blah, 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 blah. And I realized like kind of soon after that there's a second match that where basically like you have another chance to get into these programs. So if they didn't fill all up their spots, like they'll like second match you kind of thing. Which I didn't really understand that until like that day that I found out I didn't get in. But I sent her an email. I said, listen, like I really love this program and I want to see if we can meet so that you can discuss to me as to why I didn't get in, just so I can apply next year, because I thought this program felt so right to me. She sends me an email back and she's like, would you like to be considered for the second round? Yeah, I freaking would. And in the meantime, I'm like looking for other opportunities to do that next year. If this doesn't work out, I'm at least gonna reach out to a social media RD, which is the woman that I talked about in my last productive days with me, who happened to be the woman that I almost reached out to, was actually the social media RD that was in my meeting like a week ago, giving a presentation at my dietetic internship. So when I tell you guys that everything happens in some weird kind of way, the second round starts at 12 p.m. on Wednesday. So that was what I was told. I am crazy enough to draft an entire email so that I could send it at exactly like 12:05 so I don't look like an insane psychopath, because I wanted it so bad. And she knew, director now, totally knew how bad I wanted this internship, because she emails me back like by 12:30 and is like, would you like to be offered a spot in this internship? I'm freaking out. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I literally like, I ran around for like 30 minutes in a circle because I was so happy that I listened to my gut. Like, I can't even tell you how hard the year is of being nutrition and dietetics major as a senior up until this point where you find out that you get in to the dietetic internship or you don't get in. I lost a lot of friends in this process of having to pick school before going out and hanging out and partying and all of that. But honestly, everyone that was very close to me in my life that meant like a lot to me and knew what I was going through, knew how much this meant to me, is still here. And I'm so grateful for that. I know that like some of my really good friends had to deal with me at like my most anxious times, and even Austin, like that was the first year of our relationship. And I was just a ball of freaking stress the entire time. In reality, I needed to prioritize this, and when it worked out, it was all so worth it. And of course, there was a lot of college sacrifice that came with it. But finding out that I got into the internship quite literally like made all of the other stuff like not matter as much. Like I knew that I recognized a new like power of perseverance and power of passion and grit. You guys know me now, like grit is like the biggest word to me because it has played such a role in my life, and like that meant so much to me in this like stupid interview that I had. Everything on paper just like doesn't reflect as much who you are as a person based on like your GPA and based on these little things. Like there is so much that goes into being successful in a career, and I think a lot of it has to do with grit. I'm so thankful for that, and it made all of these sacrifices worth it. So for you guys experiencing this now, I'm like crying. Oh my god, no, I'm not. Honestly, I do think that my senior year like was a time of so much growth because I was truly feeling like I was moving on into adulthood. I truly felt like I was making adult decisions for myself based on everything I had to do and everything I had to sacrifice in order to get into this internship. Especially like straight out of college, it is very hard to do that, you know? It's very hard. It's not as easy as everyone makes it seem. Please stick to your gut. Please stick to your gut. Please keep persevering. Don't give up because of the easier route. I'm going to be making a few videos based on requests too, so if you guys have like anything you want me to talk about on here in regards to the dietetic internship, I am more than welcome to, because I wish I had that guidance when I was going through it. It is an uphill battle. It is an uphill battle even being in the internship right now. I have constantly had to learn new things about myself based on the whole COVID situation. A lot of expectations versus the reality of things has been pretty crazy. Pretty freaking crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace and love and happiness for the world.